I'm sure you've thought a good bit about the past 5 games and just kind of the not great starts. Have you talked about that with the team? Have you all talked about Saturday and the urgency with which I would think you need to play to try to get that first goal?
Yeah, that urgency isn't something new for this Saturday. We've needed that every time we stepped on the pitch. It's obviously heightened that much more come Saturday. And you can talk about it as much as you want, right? We need to have action in terms of what is happening on the field.
Have y'all just talked internally about why it's not there?
Those conversations happen, and like I said, it's easy to talk in a private setting. It's easy to talk in a locker room setting. You need guys to be strong. You need guys to be brave. You need guys to want it. And you can talk all you want. We need action.
Y'all have beaten Red Bulls in the regular season one time, and it came at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I think it was last year. So how fun would it be to flip the script on just maybe the season and getting a win on them, and maybe having a spark going into these last 2 games?
Yeah, that's all we can control, right? In terms of what's ahead of us, and that's the next game. And obviously going in against them, a team we just played up at their place, it's going to be a feisty game, I'm sure, for different reasons, and one that we want to be in the home team, like you mentioned, turn things around in terms of our performance, in terms of giving our fans something to cheer about, and 2, you see what happens elsewhere in the league, sort of thing. But we need to be focused and concentrated about ourselves.
On this kind of topic of intensity and things, I'm just curious, just talk to a lot of athletes, and they talk about kind of they're like a different person when they're on the field, obviously, than when they are in their personal lives, and a switch gets flipped at some point during the course of the day leading up to a game or before the game. Do you feel that happens to you, first of all, and how do you get to that place mentally?
I don't know if it's a switch per se. I'm not good enough to flip a switch, and to be honest with you, I'm not sure if we have anybody in our locker room that's good enough to flip a switch. I think there's probably a handful of people in world football that are good enough to flip a switch. The preparation isn't about when we get to the stadium, it started when the final whistle blew the other night. And whether it's 2 days of training, whether it's a walkthrough, whether it's a video session, whether it's conversations talking about with the manager and the coaching staff on the whiteboard, that's all preparation. And you've got to be mentally switched on during those moments, so that when you get to the stadium and when the whistle blows for the game, that you're ready to go. Like I said, we're not good enough to show up to the stadium, think that we're fantastic, and then when the whistle blows, say, right, I'm going to flip the switch, and I'm going to be ready to go. It doesn't work like that. And so, for me, it's about the preparation going into the game, feeling prepared. After I'm done talking to you guys, we're going to go and watch some video, and the good things and the bad things of, what we went through in terms of up at their place, and different areas we hope to try and expose and whatnot, and from a goalkeeping standpoint, what dangers they have. Obviously Forsberg's back, right? So now that's a different element. But it's one that's constant. It's constant preparation, and of course, I'm not talking about tactics with my kids at home. Probably watching Bluey or something, but it's certainly in the back of my mind that, I've got a massive game to prepare for and make sure that I'm doing the things that put me in a state to go and perform and compete.
From whistle to whistle, are you satisfied with what you're seeing as team captain from your teammates with all the things you just talked about?
I don't think anyone would say we're satisfied with where we're at.
Not where you're at, but with the preparation, the work that your teammates are doing. Are you satisfied as captain that?
Listen, I
because there's
think
no switch.
No. Listen, everybody prepares differently. I can't change somebody's preparation, right? I can't. I can help them. I could, the coaching staff can help them. Video analysts, they can help, the players. But at the end of the day, it's similar to your first question of when we talk and we have these conversations. Well, you need to see action. Then you need to go into the game and do something about it. And so we can prepare. Talk. You need action at that point.
Right. Having played so many seasons here with Atlanta, this season particularly, what do you think was needed? What do you think was missing from the team to get to qualify even to the playoffs?
Yeah, listen, I've always said that's $1 million question, because if we knew the answer to that, I'm sure we probably wouldn't be in this situation. And so all we can look at and affect is Saturday now, in terms of the game, in terms of how we go into it, how we approach it, and ultimately how we perform. And what's been missing, I'm not entirely sure. What I do know is it's not been good enough from, you say whistle to whistle, but from the start of the year to where we are now.
How do you want to see the balance play out in this match between coming out with urgency, being aggressive, but also protecting against their counter?
Yeah, like I said, it's bound to be a feisty game, just because I think whenever you play Red Bull, it always has that element to it. The fact that we just played them a few weeks ago, that adds to it in terms of the freshness of that game, and so it's important that we do have urgency. It's important that we come out on the front foot. It's important that we get off to a good start. It's important that we're up for the battle. And when I say battle, I'm talking about tackles. I'm talking about sending a message that we're going to give everything. And you do that with action. We can sit here and stand in front of microphones and say it, but we've got to do it. What I'm not talking about is mistakes, right? Mistakes happen. I'm talking about giving everything we have on both sides of the ball. And so when it's there to attack, we go and attack with everything. When we have to defend, we defend with everything. And we don't pick and choose moments throughout a game when we're going to do one or the other. And like you said, the key word is balance, because they do have dangerous attacking players that can hurt you, especially in a transitional moment. And so that's something that we're certainly have to be prepared for.
Anything else, Brett?
Right here. What would be your message to the fans that are being following the team, even though the results weren't the greatest? What would be the message for them?
I would say thank you. In terms of their support, in terms of what they do for this club, and most importantly, what they mean to this club. I know it's not been an easy year, both on the field and off the field. Listen, we hear as players, the conversations that the fans have, and we hear those, and so what I would say is thank you, because it's not easy, and when we hear that support, it means everything, and not just to this group of players, but it means everything to this club, because I've always said without your fans, without our fans and our supporters, Atlanta United isn't the Atlanta United that we know. And so I would say thank you.
Well, in there. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks guys. Appreciate it.